computer.
What is happening, folks? Welcome back to the Fit With Us podcast. This is episode number 8, not last week's episode. Kyle, how are you, mate?
It's good for some of us to have turned up to 8 episodes, mate. That's
Aye, I'm back, mate. I'm back with a bang. I'm ready to crack on, mate. I do apologise for last week, man. For those of you that don't know, and listened to last week's podcast and wondered where I was lying on the couch, absolutely steaming at my face, and I slept right through the podcast. So, yeah, thank you to AJ for stepping in at the last minute, man. You pulled some strings and got that sorted, Kyle. So, yeah, mate, how are you, man? Sorry, I cut right in front of you.
No, mate, I brought it up. I had to, again, get a wee dig in there, but it would have been a fucking great podcast if you turned up steaming, man. I wonder what nuggets would I got from you.
Oh my God, I was in a bad way. 14 hours of drinking on Saturday. Never got home until 10:30. I know that's an early night for most people, but I was drinking from 8 in the morning, sitting on a bus for over 10 hours. So yeah, mate, I was really feeling it. I was fuzzy until about the Tuesday, and that's when I started kind of feeling human again. So it's put me off drink for the foreseeable future now. Had a Christmas night out last night, took the car. I had hospitality at Rangers on Thursday, took the car. Potentially going to another night out tonight, taking the car. I'm just wanted
If you managed to survive that Rangers game without that turning you back to drink, then you're all right. You're solid in this.
I was this close, mate. I was this close, man.
I'd say.
But I tell you what's been happening with you. It's been a couple of weeks since I've seen you.
No, all good on my side. Yeah, just very much looking forward to now we've hit December, we can actually embrace Christmas a wee bit more. Hence the reason you've got the big sexy Scottish Christmas jumper on. I'm here.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
I thought I was doing well, mate. I had the most sizzlat going on, and then I seen you turn up, and I'm like, I can't match that. Like, yeah, I've got nothing. I've got nothing anymore. May as well just turn up in the bed.
Absolutely love it, man. Absolutely love it. Oh, by the way, before I forget, I do believe that a massive congratulations is in order.
Thank you, mate. After all these years, finding out my penis actually works, that's
How are you feeling now that now that you guys have announced it? Is it starting to feel a bit more real?
Oh, mate, I'm absolutely over the moon. We've been trying for years, and we end up seeking professional help to again with that. And you know what? Like I always kind of knew, not knew, but deep down I knew it was going to happen. It was just a matter of when. And look, the timing of it is perfect, with the exception of Scotland have got to Euros in June, and the baby's also due in June, so there's no chance of me getting to Germany. But outside of that, that's my biggest grumble with it at the moment. But outside that, I'm genuinely both as over the moon. So cheers for that.
I'm absolutely delighted for you, man. I can't wait to meet the wee one. Yeah, absolutely delighted. By the way, you might have seen this because obviously you're from Glasgow, but have you seen that we name all our gritters?
No, I have not.
Right. So there's this thing, right? You can go onto the Scottish Government website and you can track I think I'm assuming they're all run by the council all over Scotland. You can track all the gritters and where they are and see, because it's snowing here today, they're out in force, right? And but we've got absolutely fantastic patter, so we've named majority of the gritters and see some of the fucking names, mate. I've had to write some of them down, man. Are you ready for some of these?
Let's go, man. Let's go.
Right, Lord Coldemort.
Yes.
Gritney Spears.
Oh no.
You're a Blizzard, Harry. She is a melter.
To be fair, that's good. That's decent. Yeah.
Han Snowlo.
Oh wow.
Spready Mercury. The BFG, Big Friendly Gritter.
Are these just the ones that you've named, mate?
Yeah, I've saved the best till last, man.
Go on.
Jack Jarvis Esquire and Victor McSprade.
Victor McSprade, we're here for it.
That's only some of them, mate. You have to go and have a look. It's on the traffic.gov website, man, and there's fucking tons of them. But that's just a select few that I wrote down. Honest to God, mate, it's fantastic. You don't get that anywhere else in the world, do you?
You can tell there was just somebody bored from the council sitting in an office going, what am I going to do with my day? Do you know what? Yeah, Yeah,
Aye,
good
I'm
name.
naming grittles. I'm
Yeah,
naming grittles. My pick of the bunch has got to be Spready Mercury. I like that one, man.
I enjoyed that myself, mate. That was good.
Is there anything you want to touch on before we dive into this pod?
No, I think what the theme of today is just what like festive fat loss or getting through the festivities. Like
That's it, man. I will go for the ultimate Christmas guide. How does that sound?
that sounds good to me, mate.
Fantastic. So, basically, we're just going to talk about kind of what really happens or what usually happens in the festive period and how we can navigate it as best as possible. Because I know a lot of us see the Christmas period as a fuck it time, and we all just hit the fuck it button and go absolutely wild. It's easy to forget that Christmas is only one day because we absolutely rip the arse out of it and we spread it over the full month. And then we end up going into the new year feeling 10 times worse than we did before we started our fitness journey. So hopefully by the end of this pod, we've given you, I can't believe I just said pod, who the fuck do I think I am? Hopefully we've given you guys enough kind of hints and tips and that you can add to your tool belt and you can navigate it as best as possible and go into the new year feeling a much better version of yourself rather than hitting the fuck it button for 4 weeks and then going into new year feeling like absolute dog shit and then feeling like you need to start again pretty much. So basically what usually happens at Christmas, Kyle, tons of nights out, Christmas parties, training, nutrition, right out the window. You overindulge and you use Christmas as an excuse for doing so. You go way off plan, struggle to get back on it, like I said, and then you end up saying to yourself, "Fuck it, I'll start again in New Year." Do you agree with the majority of that?
I do it. I agree with all of it. I set a record in 2018 where I think I drank every day in December. I was kind of proud of that at one point, but also severely disappointed in myself. And every year has been significantly better since. Well, 3 days, 2 days in, mate. Not touched a drink. That's me, 100% records. But yeah, mate. I think actually probably before we actually dive into the me and you haven't actually spoke about what direction we're going to take this in, but we've both compiled some notes. But I think probably the best thing to do before we actually dive into how to get through the period is actually probably understand that why people look at more than just one day. Because as much as Christmas Day is one day, there is obviously a build up to it. There is several factors that probably cause. It's not just like, oh, it's cold and people have an excuse to eat and drink more. What is the reasons behind it? So I think if you're keen enough to do it, we should probably look at some of the reasons why Christmas would last more than one day for your average person. Would you be keen?
Absolutely.
Cool.
Absolutely. 100%. Let's do it.
Cool. So I personally think like again we're having like a large amount of clients coming into the November time. You already start to see like from the 1st of November, so as Halloween ends, Christmas starts to kind of make its way into like shopping centres. First of all, we start to see the Christmas trees go up, the Christmas lights start to switch on. You start to hear Mariah Carey and whatever. Like Michael Bublé starts getting defrosted. Um, and with that, like a lot of the time when we've spoken about emotional eating before, like a lot of that stems from childhood. Like you have a lot of feelings that are attached to that, and probably none more so than Christmas. Christmas time kind of is that time where it's for the children, but like it takes you back to this point where it's like I like a tin of roses. Do you even still get it? Is it tins of roses or plastic now?
It's plastic now, isn't it? It's the same as celebrations. It's all plastic now.
Shite, mate. Like I was watching Still Game the other day, one of the old Christmas specials, and it was all the lid comes off the roses and they tan them in small doses, right? And the size of that tin of roses, like I mean, you don't even get that doesn't exist. I don't know how people are still fat when like back in the day they used to be like proper roses size. Like you need to buy about 4 of them to be that size now.
Mate, did you ever did your grandparents ever keep an old tin of roses and just fill it full of shit?
Oh mate, yeah. I think my gran ended up filling up with penguin biscuits. That ended up coming the biscuit tin.
Pretty sure, I don't know if it was my gran or my mum, but there was like sewing stuff.
Oh mate, sewing, yeah, there's a market for sewing, isn't it? Like I'm pretty sure when my gran goes, I'm going to find a few of those old tins of roses just full of like sewing stuff. Yeah.
100%, man. And like you said, they were fucking huge, so you could get a lot of sewing shit in that stuff.
Mate, you could fit Madeline McCann in. Maybe she's in a tin of roses. Who knows?
Oh my god, mate. Right, anyway, moving on. Swiftly moving on.
I'm not editing that out. Anyway, what was I going to say? Yeah, so I think like looking into like the actual Christmas and festive period, the it's not just like people are conscious of the fact that like, oh, we've pressed the fuck it button and you know what it is, what it is. There's a lot of reasons behind that, and it does stem from the subconscious messages. Well, you feel it, you don't. Christmas means different things to different people. Some people love it, some people hate it, but either way, there's emotions evolved around that, and it's forced upon you. Nights out start to ramp up. People around you, that's like your social calendar. Like, sure, Gary, you messaged me this week saying you had what, 4 different things on this week. Literally, it was a
Aye.
strap yourself in. I've got a lot of shit happening this week.
Aye.
Um, so you do, you've got a lot going on, and it's not even just that. It's like there's a lot of guilt in there in the sense that these things only happen once a year, but when you have
Mm.
44 things in 30 days that only happen once a year, it can be tough to navigate. So you have a lot of that happens, and then the people around you also will make you feel bad, and it's ultimate form because they want to enjoy themselves. So
Yep.
they want to rope you into the nights out they're having. Day drinking starts to become acceptable, especially this side of the world where it's dark at 3 o'clock. It's like it's sound, it's night time, it's Christmas. You can get drinking. You can start eating roses at 2 o'clock, drinking at 3 o'clock. There's mince pies at 4 o'clock, and then that's all before you at 7 o'clock. Like, sure, you were drinking from 8 o'clock in the morning the other day. I don't know if that was
Aye.
Christmas related, but still, it was you were drinking from 8 in the morning. Um,
Aye. No, on you go, mate. On you go. Sorry.
well, mate, that was pretty much that was me finished. So the big things are Christmas, as much as like I've never met MD who, as much as Christmas in its actual self, if you were to like be logical about it, go Christmas is one day. But I've never met somebody, it's a psychopath, somebody who actually goes Christmas Eve, we do nothing, Christmas Day, it's Christmas time, Boxing Day, they're nothing again, trees down, everything's away. It doesn't quite go like that. So we do need to be aware that emotions and behaviours are going to take over. Probably already by the time this goes out, people are about a week into Christmas.
Aye. Aye. I think peer pressure is a massive one, especially when it does come to this time of year. Other people other people don't feel like they can enjoy themselves until you do what they want you to do.
Yeah.
Other people can't accept it. You might not want to have a few drinks just because they are having a few drinks. Other people might not be able to accept it. You might not want to dip your fingers into a tub of celebrations as it is now, just because they can eat celebrations all day and enjoy it. So yeah, peer pressure is going to be a massive one. But it's important for you to remember that you're on this journey for you and you alone. So try, I know it's easier said than done, but try your best and not let others influence it, because no one gives more fucks about your fitness journey, your health, than what you do. But with regards to all the nights out as well, navigating them can be done. Not every single night out has to be a heavy hitter. Not every single night out has to be smack bang on it. Drinking as much as you can, chips and cheese on the way home, pizza or a Chinese the next day because you're hungover to fuck. Pick and choose. Like, say you've got from now until Christmas, let's say, I'm just going to use an easy number. Let's say you've got 5 nights out planned, right? You've got work night out, couple with your friends, one with your family, one with the kids, right? Pick what one you want to be heavy. Pick what one you wouldn't mind being a light social occasion. So you might even be able to take the car, or stick to like a couple of drinks, or just make it like a dinner, and then pick the rest being kind of moderate. Not every single one has to be a full-on fucking let's get absolutely smack bang on it, cracking cans open at 8 in the morning. So there is ways to navigate around these nights out. I know obviously, like you said, the nights out do ramp up. And it's normal for this time of year, but yeah, there is ways that you can get around it without going full self-sabotage fuck it mode.
Yeah. I 100% back you on that, and I think another thing to actually look at is it's important to look at who we're speaking to and what the goals are as well, because a lot of people might not actually even want to lose fat over Christmas, just don't want to get any worse. So I think the biggest thing you can do going into Christmas period is exactly what Gary says. You need to prioritize things, but you also need to prioritize things based on the clarity of what you want from that period as well.
Mm.
Because like realistically, if you're wanting to lose fat, then like you need to be on it with that. Like there's no two ways about it. Like nobody really wants to be logging food on Christmas Day or whatever. Like the way I would see it, if you're a fat loss phase, you can technically eat like a unsupervised child at a buffet between the 25th and the 1st of January, providing that you're ticking the boxes beforehand, providing like until then, providing that you're again making sure that we're on it and everything else. But the opposite can be true in the sense that if somebody does want to press the fuck it button, you just need to make them aware that look, there's no real way around the fact that if you're going to eat again like a child at a buffet from the 28th of November until the 4th of January, there's going to be a cost to that. And
Aye.
unfortunately, a lot of people don't understand the cost of it's. They're already thinking I'll get started in January without actually thinking how much worse they're going to get before then. And it's not a case that how unfit and how they feel at the moment about themselves becomes about 10 times worse by the time they get to January because they've done nothing but
Mhm.
eat like that and they've had no self control. And ultimately, it's not just the physical changes, it's the fact that mentally they've not been able to control things, which does have a battle in the sense that they don't feel that they can control anything. So they're out of shape, they don't feel they can control anything. By the time January comes, they're going to take about 3 months to actually get to the point where they were at the end of November, which they were unhappy anyway, and they're not going to see they think in their head that they're going to look at the front cover of Men's or Women's Health, and it's just not the case. So it is important. Again, there's nothing wrong with if you do want to take your foot off the gas, but just do it intelligently. That's
Aye, 100%. I think that what a big mistake that a lot of people make is they try and continue to diet over Christmas. Obviously, fuck it on nights out, and then they're like, "Well, I've ruined it now, so I may as well just keep going." I would recommend not dieting over Christmas because it's added stress. And then, like I say, if you do go over your calories a couple of days in a row, that's when the fuck it button gets hit. So personally, I would rather people went back to maintenance and actually enjoyed their Christmas. And it doesn't matter anyway, because see the calories on Christmas Day, they don't actually count; they just disappear. So that's the day that you can eat like a child at a buffet. But I would recommend going back to maintenance just for a 2 week period, like maybe the week before Christmas and then that week after Christmas, that kind of awkward phase between Christmas and New Year. Obviously enjoy your steak pie on New Year's Day. And then just get right back on it. Don't let it drag on for a month, 2 months, 3 months. Have a start date to your maintenance calories, have an end date to your maintenance calories. And you might actually find that you get more out of it as well because you're giving your body more energy. You're going to be up for doing stuff. You're going to be up for keeping yourself active and stuff over that period as well. But I agree with what you say, Kyle. I think it's important to reflect on what you actually want to get from the Christmas period and what you want to, what kind of position you want to be in at the start of New Year. Like looking at it now, maybe like do it after this podcast, like sit down with a bit of paper and actually write down how you want this Christmas to go. So do you want to maintain the progress you've made this year? Do you still want to be able to enjoy nights out and Christmas parties without going absolutely mental? Do you want to do this guilt-free and not feel like you've absolutely fucked everything that you've worked hard for this year already? Or maybe you bought yourself a new dress for a Christmas night out. Do you want to be able to actually fit in that? Or do you want to be squeezing into it? So sit down, write it down, see what you want, and then plan ahead from there. And hopefully, like some of the solutions and stuff that we can give you in this podcast is going to help you towards that. Anything you want to add to that?
last minute we're back to calling it a podcast rather than a pod.
A pod, I know who the fuck do you think I am, man.
This guy notions to yourself. You don't even turn up to him anymore, and then you just start calling in, calling the pods. Mate. Nice.
Oh, I'm never going to live that down, am I?
Yeah, no, just because I didn't let you finish your story 1 week. That was it.
Oh, do you want to know the ending? No, I'm joking.
No, we're not here for that, right? We're going to get into the tactics. So
Yes.
once we've looked at whatever your goal is, not all days, particularly like year round, not all days are created equal, but more so at Christmas time in the sense that
Mm.
your calories of what's going to be on a Monday is very likely going to be different to what it is going to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, particularly this time of year. So I would look at setting yourself up with a weekly balance, almost as if you're a weekly budget. Imagine you were going to, let's flip it on its head and imagine you were going, remember when you used to go to like Spain or whatever, and you had 700, you went for a week and
Aye.
you had 700 euros and you just had it in cash but the €700 had to last you over the space of a week. Some days you wouldn't spend the full €100, but you know you had something coming up. You had the boat party on a Saturday. You'd only spend 50 quid on the Friday because you knew the boat party was happening on Saturday, which meant you could spend 150 on the Saturday. That's really, I want you to take the Malaga boat party to Christmas. That's where we are with things at the moment. So we want to look at your entire week. Look at, if it's a maintenance calories, we'll just go with that at the moment. We're going to go with whatever your maintenance calories are. Look at what that equates to over a 7-day period and then ration them out throughout the week. But planning ahead of time is key, because when emotion is high, it's always going to, if you're trying to fight logic, and this is the problem a lot of people make, was they try and make logical decisions when emotion is too high. You're never going to be able to beat a logical decision or an emotional decision with logic. Never happens. So always try and make sure that you're preempted ahead of time. Make sure you're planned ahead of time. Ideally, when it comes to food choices, make sure that, again, if you know you've got a mental weekend coming up Friday, Saturday, Sunday, make sure that there's nothing that's going to catch you short Monday to Thursday. And that might mean packing your sandwiches at lunchtime. That might mean making sure that your breakfast is on point. But realistically, it can absolutely be done. And that can be a maintenance, that can be fat loss, that can be muscle building, whatever that is. Just make sure that you're rationing out your calories throughout the week.
Aye, absolutely, completely agree with you. And also, like, focus on the actual occasion rather than the food and the bevy that you can have. Like, focus on actually enjoying the night out. Focus on enjoying spending time with your family and friends and your loved ones, rather than being like, I'm going to get smack bang on it. But definitely planning ahead is a massive one. And see if when you're not at a social event or you're not at a Christmas party or whatever, keep your food standard mega high. Whole foods, nutritious foods, keep your veg nice and high. Make sure you're getting as much of that in, maybe not as much in as possible, within reason, within your calorie limits. And then obviously, once you do get to the social event, enjoy it, enjoy the meal, enjoy the company, enjoy the time spent with your loved ones. Don't let it get you down. Don't let it stress you out. Focus on, instead of worrying about how you can enjoy your Christmas whilst restricting, which I said before can lead to ridiculous amounts of unnecessary stress, focus on having a better Christmas. Allow yourself the freedom to enjoy it stress-free by planning ahead. Plan that Monday to Thursday, Monday to Friday. Enjoy your time at the weekend and then get right back on it on Monday. Don't let it bleed over, trickle into the week. And then before you know it, it's Wednesday and you're like that. Well, I've not started now, so there's no point in starting. I'll wait again until Monday. But definitely planning ahead is fucking absolute key.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I would say what you said there, eating like an adult as well. Like on the days that you don't have anything on that you can control, like don't just decide that because there's Freddos and roses and everything else kicking about at Christmas time that's you're enjoying yourself. Most people Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Like it's more than it's pretty much half a week. Let's just rein things in, and ultimately you'll enjoy it more, because I don't know anybody who gets to a marathon of a month of just eating and drinking shit who actually feels fucking great for it. The other side, you're actually not enjoying it anymore. You're just doing it out of habit. And the time Christmas comes, like the actual day of Christmas, which happens to be at the back end of December, that you actually feel that you're not enjoying Christmas itself because you're sitting there and you're sweating. It's cold, but you're fucking sweating at your Christmas dinner.
Mate, I that kind of leads on to my next point as well. Like knowing your limit, your limit. Obviously you're going to have people in your ear. This is the peer pressure thing we were talking about as well. Just one more, go on. One more won't kill you. Stop being a bore. It's up to you to know your limit. Do not give in to peer pressure. Saying no to something isn't a crime. And see if somebody else isn't happy about you saying no, then they obviously don't have your best interests at heart. They're only concerned about themselves. They want you to do what they want you to do. They don't care what you want to do. So knowing your limit is going to be massive as well. And like I say, it's absolutely fine to say no.
Yeah, agreed. That started like an advert there, mate, where you were like, know your limits. And I was like, I feel like I'm in the cinema just about to watch something that's like one of those adverts about drinking and driving or something like that. But I think the point was good. I enjoyed that.
I'll be on the new John Lewis advert, just going, know your limits.
Know your limits. You after the back end drinking on the bus all day, going, know your limits.
I know I've got an absolute fucking cheek, don't I?
um,
Absolute fucking cheek, man. But at least it's been a wee eye opener, and I'm now navigating the rest of the festive period bevy free.
Well, mate, I think that's the thing. Like as much as I'm slagging you for it, and again, I've talked about the fact that I went for an entire month just being on the sesh. Like it's about you only know your limits when you've pushed them. In my
Aye.
opinion, but for the majority of people, they repeat the same behaviour every year without actually taking anything from it, and it's like
Mhm.
last year they felt terrible, and because we're 11 months later, they're kind of repeating like the madness again. It's like they're not nothing's going to change unless something changes. You identified after the weekend that you had going, I don't want to feel like this, I don't want to act like this.
Mhm.
I'm going to do a few things to change that. And like again, it's imperfect action that always takes. There's a lot to be said on that. It's not a there's nothing wrong with like knowing where the limit is and then going, right, I didn't enjoy that, I'm going to rein things back in. So mate, I
Aye.
think that's probably the best lesson you could give to MD. But on that, I think actually that leads to my next point would be
Brilliant.
um, non-negotiables is something that we've talked
Mhm.
about before, and I think when it comes to anything, you do need non-negotiables. The reason you need them is because, as I've said, emotion kicks in a lot of the time, and if you're emotional about going out and doing steps, then I'd say particularly this year, but it's rained for about 90% of the year, you wouldn't ever went out and done them because you wouldn't have wanted to because it's raining. But if it's a non-negotiable, it's something you need to do regardless of anything, then it will stand you in good stead. And it's important to have them even at Christmas time, but they can change. So your non-negotiables might be like year round that you maybe do or try and do 10,000 steps, or that you maybe have a certain calorie limit or whatever that is. You maybe go to the gym 3 or 4 times a week. But at Christmas time, it can change. It could theoretically be like if you're consciously not going for a fat loss phase, you might not need to do as much movement. Embrace that and go, look, my non-negotiable is I'm doing 10,000 steps. I'm drinking 2.5 liters of water. I'm trying to get a form of protein in each and every meal that I can. And again, when it comes to eating more food that the majority of us do throughout December, that can be channeled into like the gym. People, when you eat more
Mhm.
food, you theoretically, not even theoretically, you scientifically have more energy. You can push more in the gym. You can get more from it. The gyms tend to be dead in December anyway because most people are in the pub. So I would say utilize that as well. Like utilize the fact that you're eating more, use it more strength, push yourself a little bit more in the gym. That will only stand you in good stead. Make sure that you come through December with something.
Aye, 100% agree with that as well. I think a lot of people get the mindset though of I'm overeating, so it's pointless me going to the gym. Not actually realizing that the more energy you have, the more you can push, like you said, the stronger you can get, the more effective and efficient you're going to be in the gym. So definitely use that to your advantage. Yeah, make them non-negotiable. Treat all your non-negotiables the way you would treat a meeting with your boss. I probably said this before in the podcast, but treat them like you would treat a meeting with your boss. You're never ever going to miss a meeting with your boss. So why would you miss your non-negotiables? But yeah, keeping your output as high as possible as well, like your steps. Get out for a walk every single day. See if you can get the family involved as well. Um, get the kids out for a walk. Get the dog out for a walk. Get the better half out for a walk. See if it's snowing. It's snowing today in Glasgow, right? It's actually got enough snow on the ground that you probably could make a bit of a snowman. Fucking get them out, build a snowman, go and have a snowball fight. Like moving, everything counts. Go ice skating, but try not go to the Christmas markets and get yourself a wee hot cider or one of the hot chocolate Baileys because they are absolutely rammed full of calories. And unless you've banked for them, unless you've saved up for them, then I wouldn't say it's worth the 300 to 400 calories. But I getting other people involved as well. Say find one of your mates who's in the same situation as you, the same position as you, and arrange walking dates 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We meet up at 7, we walk for an hour. Having somebody else committing to that as well is going to mean you're less likely to pull out of it. So yeah, just finding wee ways that you can keep your output mega, mega high.
Plus, yeah, I'm here for that. I was actually just on the snowballs thing. You made me laugh. Did you see the Aberdeen game the other night?
Mate, chucking the snowballs at the Helsinki keeper.
Yeah, I was going to say the game got not abandoned but got delayed because they were throwing snowballs at the Helsinki keeper. What a thing.
Absolutely fantastic. And honestly, mate, it's only us, only the fucking Scottish people would think of doing stuff like that. I don't know why this has popped back into my head there, but see, just thinking about you drinking every day in the month of December in 2018, the first thing that popped into my head was that must have been some advent calendar.
Mate, an advent calendar, that's like, yeah, it wasn't actually an advent calendar I had, mate, but I actually got to the point where, see, come the week of Christmas, mate, this is how bad it was. I was sick of certain brands of beer because I'm like, I've had too much of that. Like,
Fuck.
you know, you're in a bad way when you start to become a connoisseur of shite beers and you're like, I need to be Carlsberg tonight because I've had too much Heineken. Like, that's that's where I was at with things. So, to be fair, I'd also, and there's no excuses for it really. It was just genuinely a bit of a tough time that I was going through, and like I even knew that at the time. I was still doing a bit of training. I was still doing a bit of movement, but with that, like I still had those non-negotiables, but very much I was accepting of the fact that I was writing things off and knew that I was going to have to hit the rock bottom to then come in January. I backed myself in January to come back out. I'm not saying it's the way to do it, but ultimately I found where those limits were with things and went, right, I'm never going back to how I felt that Christmas again.
Yeah.
By the end of it, I was genuinely got into New Year like as well as your immune system's fucked. Like you're just it's trying to get some blood back in the alcohol stream. Like you're just genuinely like going, I am done with this. I think actually the following year I end up running a marathon and like going sober for a significant amount of time and all that carry on. But yeah, I think a lot of people ultimately will. And again, it's fine if you want to, if you're under the understanding, if you're writing off the rest of the year, absolutely go for it. Like again, it's your car to drive. It's you're the driver of that car, but just don't complain in January when things haven't gone the way that you want them to do. Like,
Aye, 100%. You are in complete control. You are in control of what goes in your mouth, no one else.
yeah,
So if you fuck it, it is completely on you. But that doesn't mean to say you're on your own. Obviously, if you do need a wee bit of help or whatever, reach out to somebody that can help you. Me and Kyle can absolutely help you with that. A member of your family, like I say, that's what I'm saying. Make these walking dates and stuff with friends and family because it's something you can commit to. And it's going to help you out massively as well. And another thing as well, you want to jump in there and say something before I.
No, the only thing I was going to say is I think it's fair to assume that if somebody's listened to this and they've got to this point, they probably are wanting to make some progress over December. So, first of all, fair play for that anyway, but it's just about setting up some of these healthy tactics. You can still get the best of both worlds in the sense that you can still enjoy Christmas whilst, again, enjoying the kind of social aspect of it. And that's what we want you to get from it.
Aye, 100%. And see if you do happen to overindulge or overdo it one day. It might not even be for a night out. It might just be sitting in the house and you've seen that box of roses and you've tanned half the tin. I said box, half the tub. Don't over restrict the next day to try and make up for it, because that will just start the vicious cycle of binging, restricting. So if you do overdo it, one day of overdoing it's never made anybody fat in their whole entire life. It's continually doing it. And by doing that binge and restrict cycle, you end up eating yourself out of your calorie deficit and sometimes into a surplus. So if you do overdo it one day, just get right back on it the very next day. Don't worry about over restricting. You could maybe try and pull back 100 to 200 calories, but don't make it 5, 6, 800. 5, 6, 8. Fucking hell, man. I'm still feeling the effects of last weekend.
Yeah,
But do you agree with that?
I agree, mate, 100%. Nothing else to add to that. Yep.
Brilliant. Another one, another point that you could kind of write down and take note of is recognizing enjoyment versus sabotage. There's a very thin line between enjoying yourself and just self-sabotaging, and it's important to recognize when you're doing one or the other. Everybody, like, enjoying yourself can also lead to self-sabotaging, like I did last week. I was having a great time, I was enjoying myself, and then I got to a point where I'd had too many bevies, and it then became sabotage mode. And it's just because I didn't know my limits, or I do know my limits, but I'm an absolute weapon and I can't control them. So yeah, I've been mega guilty of this before, and it's important to know your limit and not let it spill over, which is what I did. So I knew I went over my limit, but I didn't let it spill over. I drew a line under it. I didn't want to create any more unnecessary problems. And for me to do that, I'm a kind of, you know what I'm like, Kyle, I'm all or nothing, black or white, all or nothing. So I was like, I'm just going to cut out the bevy because I know that's when I always fuck it up. I'm not saying you need to cut out the bevy, especially not this time of year, but just be mindful of when you're enjoying yourself and when you're kind of sabotaging yourself.
Yeah, actually, one of the you've mentioned obviously that with the booze, and again, cheers for sharing. I think that'll be a big thing for all people listening, because it does take a lot to do that. And I
Mm.
think you and I had that discussion last week, and it's like the time of year that you're giving up, like it could be very, very easy to go, do you know what? We're close enough to January, the Monday of all Mondays, we could just wait till then. But you looked at it and went, look, I've seen this process myself before. I know how it ends, and it's not good. It doesn't get any better. I'm not going to enjoy anything more from it. It's really coming because we asked you, like the conversation we had is like, is that coming from a place of enjoyment? And you were like, it's because business is so busy for you, and you're so there's a bit of stress there at the moment, and it's like you're just wanting to decompress. And very much being there myself, I understand this time of year is a slippery slope for myself, as I've touched on 2018. It was tough. 2020, Jen's mum died at the end of November, which ultimately again became a very slippery slope. And it's like I'm aware that, a bit like yourself, it's an all or nothing thing for me. And if I start getting into days become blood, social occasions become many, people around me start to coach out. Last year in the World Cup, actually, perfect example. Last year, the World Cup, football on every day. It starts at 11 o'clock in the morning. The pub that I was across from, I got France and I got somebody else on the raffle thing. And it's like every time that France are playing, or I think it was Nigeria, whoever it was, they didn't last long. But you get a free pint. And I'm like, I was looking at the fixtures going, like, France are playing at 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, the pub is literally across the road from me. The temptation to go across and just go, I'm going to go lunch, get a free pint. But again, speaking to, again, my coach to hold me accountable to that as well, I was like, right, choose a game each week that you want to go to and will actually enjoy. It's like make sure that you like when you go enjoy it, absolutely go for it. But let's make sure that we draw a line on it under it as well. And I'm going to be honest, last Christmas was probably one of the most fulfilling I had, not just from the fact that like I went out at least once a week and enjoyed the football, had a few pints. I was able to draw a line at that. But I actually felt under control with things. I was going through, ironically, I was actually doing a fat loss phase through December up until the week of Christmas. And I actually found, again, it was one of the most liberating things I've done because it's like I found that I can actually, for the first time, probably 31 years old, I can put my hands up and go, I actually feel in control. Because I used to actually feel this time of year that I wasn't complete control. As much as I was getting better, and at times I was like, I am 2 or 3 bad days away from pressing that button and just going, that's me done. Like, yeah, this year, as I've said, I've taken the decision to kind of come away from alcohol, like not full stop, but I've come away from it for the last 2 months. I'm waiting until the 16th of December. We've got a big Christmas night out, but it's literally I'm going. I am enjoying that night out. I'm going to do the world tour of beers across the taps, man. I am going to be on everything. I say everything. I'll be 3 pints down. I'll be in my bed, but like I, I'll be enjoying myself. So I think again, the key to that is understanding what's unhealthy behaviors, understanding what's healthy behaviors. And sometimes you might not always get it right straight away. So don't be too harsh on yourself if you know that the behaviors are doing aren't right and you don't know what a solution. Again, reach out to somebody. I've said I've got a coach, Gary's got a coach. It's don't suffer in silence for that. Like always reach out. It's never don't ever just wait to the time that like it's never going to be a right time. Like if you're really not feeling great, and that again, being in that position myself where I've dreaded this time of year, and just reach out again, do something.
I completely agree with you. I think a lot of people, it's a tough time for a lot of people this year as well because obviously work for most people is stressful. Been working hard all year, looking forward to the 2 weeks off over Christmas and New Year. It's a mega stressful time because there's deadlines to be met before the year's finished. It's stressful because Christmas presents, stressful because money. So when people do get that kind of couple of days off or a couple of weeks off, they do tend to let their hair down. But yeah, it's like I say, it's that thin line of letting your hair down and it being a comforting thing, or just being like, absolutely fuck it, I want to forget and numb myself to all the stresses that I've got going on at home, etc. And that's kind of like what I was going through last week, and I was just kind of trying to forget about all the stresses of business, of work, etc. Of home life. For people that don't know, I'm me and Rachel. We are currently living at home with Rachel's parents, and it's amazing. Like that, we'll always be grateful to them for letting us live here until we can get our own place. But going from traveling for the best part of 6 years, having your own space, your own rules, to then coming back into living with parents who have their own rules, and you need to kind of live by them as such. It's very stressful. It does take its toll. It's a lot harder than it seems. So yeah, I went out last week and I just went for it because I just wanted to let off some steam. But I know a lot of people do tend to do that over the Christmas period, and they let it go on for the 2 weeks rather than, like you said, you're going to go out for that one Christmas night out, go fucking absolutely mental, and that's it. That's your one night out that you can enjoy yourself. But people don't choose to do that. They choose to do it for the 2 weeks or the 3 weeks or the 4 weeks. So yeah, just being mindful of when you're actually sabotaging yourself and not enjoying yourself anymore. Anything you want to add to that?
No, it kind of goes back. Well, I say no. I'm going to say yes.
Yeah.
There is something I want to add to that. I just think we've touched on it before. Is eating like an adult as well. It's like just making sure that you're trying to make sure that when you're coming to like alcohol calories are empty calories in the sense that like you don't chew on alcohol. You shouldn't anyway. If it's a pint of Foster's, you probably do need to chew on it. Sure. Don't order that. The December of 2018, I got that far. I'm like, do you know what? I'm going to try Foster's. Nah, not for me.
Yeah, there goes our Australian listeners.
I was going to say, mate, if I was in Australia, nobody in Australia actually drinks it. I don't know who
I
drinks
know.
Foster's. Yeah.
It's mental, isn't it? We asked, like when we were living in Australia, we asked the farmer we were working for, do you know what Foster's is? And he's like, nah. What in the fuck?
They've got all their things like 4x gold and stuff over there that they
Aye.
isn't it? Like, here, question actually, because over in Ireland, or particularly where I'm from, called Dundalk, they've got a pint called Harp. Have you ever heard of Harp?
I don't think I have, mate. No.
No, I don't think I'd heard it outside of here, but they all love Harp. I'm probably going to lose half my followers and half my clients by saying this, but don't really think it's that great. What do you make of tenants, mate?
I hate it.
See, there's a difference I always say. Like people around here go, oh, Harp's the best thing since sliced bread. I'm like, the only difference between, because they say about tenants, and I'm like, the only difference between like the Scottish people and the Irish people is Scottish people know tenants are shite, whereas you're convinced that Harp tastes great and it really doesn't. Like, it really doesn't. And I've tried enough beers in my time to tell you, it really does not taste great. But
Aye.
back to the point of you don't chew on alcohol, you shouldn't anyway. So when you're not chewing on something and again it doesn't get digested that way, it's not satiating. If anything, there was a study I looked at recently, and it's like they looked at the behaviors of people who have ordered a meal after. One of them had a placebo non-alcoholic drink, one of them had a kind of
Aye.
light to medium, and one had a heavy strength alcohol. An hour after consume that they looked at the consuming behaviors. The people who had the highest strength alcohol, I think it was like 3 or 4 units, they were eating on average, I think it was 700 calories more through their dinner than the people who had the non-alcoholic. So alcohol makes you actually crave foods a lot more, like higher calorie foods. So inhibitions go out the window. Like hence the reason you either want to have a kebab or ride somebody you shouldn't be riding at the end of an evening. There's me talked about riding people you shouldn't be riding and Madeline McCann in the same. I mean, it's
Oh
to be a festive
man.
podcast, but yeah, there's mistakes that get made because your inhibitions go. Ultimately, I'm not going to make myself sound like somebody's dad at this, but like you don't want to. Alcohol changes perspectives of things, so I would always make sure so that you're not fighting a hunger response, making sure that you have a high protein meal as close to drinking as you can so that you're
Mhm.
not fighting that logical like battle like when you're close to eating. So even if it's a case of having this might sound counterintuitive, but if you're having a protein shake, even before you go out for a dinner, like you're less likely to pick something on the menu that is higher calories because you're more satiated. You're more likely to pick sensible, logical decisions because you're not fighting that emotional response as much.
Aye, that's absolutely fucking phenomenal advice, by the way.
Yeah,
Absolutely buzzing with that one. Aye, there is always, no matter what you do, no matter what you do in life, no matter what you go, what you're doing for your Christmas party, there's always going to be a better option. When you're out, see, instead of going for beer, go for a spirit.
yeah,
Have your protein shake before you leave the house. Have even pushing breakfast back. Like instead, skip breakfast and have a really big fucking lunch. Load the plate up with veggies. Get tons of protein in, like Kyle said, and just doing everything you can to actually fill yourself up, pretty much. Because I know, see, when I'm full of food, the last thing I want is a pint of Guinness.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Or a pint of fucking Tennent's, whatever. The last thing I want is a pint, a beer, lager, whatever you want to call it, when I am full.
yep,
So yeah, just being smart about things, and this goes back to picking what nights you want to be heavy, moderate, and light. See the heavy night that you pick. I would say pick one heavy night like you did, and just go absolutely wild. But see for that night, maybe don't have as much protein before you go, so you can enjoy your drink, so you can enjoy your night. And you know what? Have a fucking kebab. Go for it. Have a kebab at the end of the night. Enjoy yourself, but make that the only night you do so. And then the rest of the time, be sensible about it. Have your food before you go out. Um, have your veggies, have your protein. Swap beer for spirit. Spirit in a low calorie mixer is the way to do it if you're looking to save calories, especially when it comes to alcohol. So yeah, there's always going to be a better option. It's just about you sitting down and thinking, not even thinking about it, just being not being an idiot about it, pretty much.
yeah. No, I agree. Just on those small things,
Hmm.
uh, lack of sleep that people get as
Hmm.
well. Alcohol obviously affects sleep. Eating late affects sleep. Being out longer than you're normally out, your bedtime, everything like that will affect your circadian rhythm. Like I know all these things probably sound like, well, fuck it, it's Christmas. I get it. It's just a case. I'm not telling you. If you've got a Christmas party that kicks off at 9 o'clock and you're normally in your bed for 9:30, I'm not telling you to go home at 9:30. All I'm saying is be aware the next day when you're feeling shite. You're feeling shite because you've not slept at your normal time. You've got a wee bit of alcohol and you've ate later than normal. It's fine to feel shite, but be of the understanding if your night out's on the Saturday, be of the understanding that you're not going to wake up on Sunday feeling fresh. Understand that on the Thursday so that you have food in the house on the
Yeah,
Sunday so that you're not like acting like a, I'm trying to think of a politically correct word to say here, but
an
you're not
asshole.
an arsehole. There you go. You're not acting like an arsehole on the Sunday. And again, you're making better decisions because I always say this about weekends. Like, there's nothing wrong with like people often think they have to go to this black and white mentality where it's chicken and rice, fish and rice cakes, whatever that may be to get in shape. Whereas it's actually just the fact they can't manage social occasions because a night out turns into a 2 or 3 day affair and they
Yeah.
struggle to get back onto things. December is probably the biggest kind of clusterfuck of that happening because if you essentially let a Friday night out turn into Saturday to Sunday, you're still feeling groggy on a Monday. All of a sudden, you're feeling terrible hungover on the Monday. You feel like you've got no control. There's no point anyway. The celebrations, the roses are on the office table. You're going to start picking at them. You've rolled off the Monday. You've started the week terribly, and it's like, oh, do you know what? Like, it's not just that. I'll start Monday. I'll start the following Monday.
Aye.
Before you know it, you're 2 weeks out of routine. You don't even know what routine looks like anymore. You're halfway through December, not knowing where you are, what's happening, and you're like, I am lost. I'll just
Aye.
the first Monday has become the 1st of January, which becomes the 3rd of January, which becomes a wait till the kids are back at school, which becomes the 8th of January, which becomes November, which becomes the following fucking year.
Aye.
Yeah.
Aye. That's fucking. Did you enjoy that wee rant there? Aye.
Out of breath, mate. Just give me a wee second there. I get a bit more
Aye.
caffeine in me.
My vein was popping just listening to you.
I need a wee minute, mate. I'm going to take some action.
Oh, excuse me. Another point that I just wanted to touch on quickly as well, while it's in my head, is food isn't going anywhere. You need to remember that. Like, see, just because it's Christmas doesn't mean it's the only time that we're allowed to eat. So try not to eat food like it's going out of fashion. Don't go to your Christmas meals, Christmas dinners, and go absolutely fucking mental because you feel like it's the only time you're allowed to eat. Christmas Day, you can go mental because, like I say, the calories don't count Christmas Day. But everything in the lead up to that, even after, see that awkward period between Christmas and New Year, when nobody really knows what they're doing, nobody's got any plans. You've got leftovers for Christmas dinner. People are having turkey sandwiches. But stop acting like food is going out of fashion. Like the society and world that we live in nowadays, we literally have an infinite number of different foods available at the click of a button.
Yep.
So yeah, again, be sensible with your choices. Like I said before, it is up to you what goes in your mouth. You're the boss. No one else can control what you eat, what you drink. It is completely up to you what goes in your mouth. So if you don't want to start a new year feeling shitty, stop being an asshole.
Stop being an arsehole, Gary. Agreed.
So have you gathered yourself again yet? Have you calmed down?
Just about, mate. I was looking at the watch there and saying I was in the high stress zone, so I get back out.
Heart rate through the roof.
Heart rate through the roof, blood pressure. Just needed a wee minute there. Fine, but thank you for that.
I is that what else? What other stuff do you want to touch on? What I just said there about the food going out?
No, I would
Fashion?
agree. I just think that like it's if you learn to have a good relationship with food, and that's not an overnight thing, it is a learning process. And I would say that even yourself and myself, who have been doing this for a long, long time and helped other people do it, are still a work in progress. We're
Mhm.
significantly better than what we would have been 5, 10 years ago, but it still is a work in progress. But instead of viewing things as black and white, because if you're always having black and white mentality, you're going to get very black and white results. And when it's not working for you, it's very much not working for you. When it's working for you, then let's hope it is working for you. But
Mhm.
I think developing that, if you develop that relationship with food long term over the space of the year, now this isn't you can do this at Christmas time, but if you develop that relationship throughout the year where you actually do enjoy, again, a bit of a social life, you do enjoy having your favourite biscuit, if it's a Jaffa cake in the evening times, you know how to incorporate that and you understand that you're not going to put on body fat. Time it gets to Christmas, you're less interested in those things anyway. But a few of the on the day tactics that most people fall foul to is when like you've got, I keep on saying the roses, but let's say there's tub of celebrations or heroes. They still do heroes? Do they do heroes?
Aye, they do.
Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah. So whatever, just whatever your choice of tub is that's in front of you, like you go into most houses, and there's tubs lying about, like, and if something's at eye level, it's constantly front of mind, and especially if
Yeah.
the lid's off it as well, you're more likely just to grab one. And is it ever just one? Like I've not got a massive sweet tooth. It's never just one with me. Like I'm like, if there's Maltesers in there, I'm scoffing the Maltesers. It starts
Oh,
to
you're
become a game that
fucking
nobody
right.
else is playing. Where I'm like, I'm not letting anybody else have Maltesers. I'm not getting shafted with bounties. So I'll start eating all the Maltesers because I'm a greedy fucker when it comes to it. It's just competitiveness for me. It's not even enjoyment. So
Ah,
the thing that would help would be putting like them out of eye level, like putting them away in ideally a cupboard somewhere that's not a cupboard you frequently go into. And if you're still craving them, like give yourself the 30-minute rule where like if you're really craving something, go sound, you can have it, but give yourself 30 minutes first. If
yeah,
you still want it in 30 minutes, go for it. But give yourself that time. Tend to find
100%.
a lot of the time after the 30 minutes, the direct one isn't quite there anymore. Like it's just because you wanted at that given time and it was convenient. But 30 minutes later, you've either forgotten about it, or look, if you are genuinely really wanting it, then sound, go and give yourself a limit, have 3 Maltesers. Don't have bounties, they're shite.
You're not a fan of bounties?
Tell you what, mate, I've probably done the opposite there. I probably should be telling people to eat all the bounties so I don't have
Ah,
to deal with them.
so you can get the Maltesers. Right, here's questions for you, right? What's your favourite roses?
Oh, purple one, every day of the week.
Oh, aye, the big purple one.
Yeah, 100%.
It's an absolute fucking. I agree with that one. I
Yeah,
second that one. I'm assuming for celebrations it's Maltesers.
Maltesers, yeah, 100%.
Mine's is a toss up between Maltesers and Galaxy.
Galaxy, a good shout, mate. Do you remember the completely again? I'm going off track here, but Mars Bar Delights, mate. Do you remember them?
I do. Aye, I do.
superb stuff. Somebody brought that up to me the other day, and I was like, "Wow, what a time to be alive." Sorry, but anyway, go on.
That was an amazing wee piece of wonderfulness in your mouth. What about your favourite heroes?
I was weirdly, I like the fudge.
All right, okay. All
Yeah,
right.
what was it?
On you go.
No, I said, what about you? What was
Oh,
yours?
sorry. Mine's is literally just the dairy milk. See, just the plain dairy milk. Oh,
Right.
no. Sorry. I take that back. I'm a fucking liar, the whisper.
Oh, mate, I've got a thing for the whisper. I was going to go about the way that I consumed it and like what I'd done with it and all that, but it sounded too sexual, so I'm
Did
just.
you bite a bit off and let it melt in your mouth and then you felt the bubbles?
I felt the bubbles, mate. Yeah,
Yes.
hell yeah.
I do the exact same. The cream egg, man, like I can have maybe two or three of the cream egg one, but holy shit, they make me feel sick.
They're very sickening, mate. I used to have this idea at Easter time that you would have like a big cream egg that was full of like the cream egg, see the syrup inside it. But
Aye,
I would imagine that you couldn't sell that because the amount of calories in it would be frightening. So
aye,
I do like a cream egg, but it's just I think it's a bit too sickening over time. I would actually do.
aye.
See, heroes wouldn't be something I've had in a while. I don't even know if you get them over here, but I was just looking at them online there. Definitely the fudge for me, but I didn't like. To be fair, the cream egg and then the crunchy. I actually quite like the crunchy just because of a different texture to most. Yeah.
Aye, fair enough. Fair enough. I'm all for that, but now I'm sticking to the whisper. Can you imagine if they did do that sort of cream egg at Easter, by the way? That is just diabetes in a shell, in it.
Right, it's just instant obesity and diabetes. You've got a 2 for 1 there. Like you finish that and like you've won the challenge, but you've lost life.
Aye, fuck that. It's not a challenge I'm willing to take. But no, just going back to your point there. Yeah, just going back to your point there 5 minutes ago. I was speaking to one of the members and the kind of the online group that I work for, or I work with, sorry, and she was saying to me today, like, this is the first Christmas that she's actually looking forward to because usually she dreads it because, she's a wee bit overweight. Every year it's drink, food, drink, food, drink, food. But this year she's actually looking forward to it because she's got the tools to now be able to navigate it. So she's banking calories for her nights out. She's not overly restricting herself. She's being sensible with her drink choices. She's being sensible with her food choices. And she also knows that if she does overdo it one day, it's not the be all end all. It's not going to define how the rest of the month should go. So just definitely being sensible and just thinking ahead, planning ahead is going to make such a huge difference. And that made me feel really good. Seeing she said that, I was like, it's good to know that people do listen to us, people do take our advice because I've been there myself. You know what I'm like. I've been there myself. I've been for years and years and years. I've always pressed the fuck it button in December. And you end up getting to January and you just feel like absolute dog shit. And me being able to help other people, you being able to help other people, which you have done for many, many years, to navigate December and show them that it doesn't have to be the way it's always been their whole entire life. And you can come out of it and you can start the new year feeling even better than you did starting in December.
Yep.
So yeah, just being mindful, being sensible, stop being an asshole, and then reach out if you need any help or if you've got any questions. Definitely, you know where to find us.
Wouldn't add anything else to that, mate. I think we've covered a good bit, unless there's anything that you want to throw in there.
No, mate, that was I'm happy to finish it up there. I think we've covered a hell of a lot, and hopefully there is we nuggets in there that people can take and actually apply to themselves. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is. If people made it this far, then they obviously want to make a bit of a difference this December. So yeah, I'm delighted with that.
Ask you ask Santa for anything.
I have not, mate. I have not. So me and Rachel are doing this thing this year because we're fucking sick of Christmas. I'm the Grinch. I'm like bah humbug.
Get that Christmas
Um,
jumper off your road.
I done that. I just done that for the pod.
The pod, mate.
The
Yeah,
pod.
the pod.
No. So me and Rachel are doing this thing where we're just going to buy ourselves something from the other person because see the amount of shit that we get every Christmas that we don't actually need or use.
Yeah.
Mate, I have 8 Lego sets that I can't build because I don't have my own house, and people just keep adding to it. We've got like 12 jigsaws that we can't do because we have nowhere to put them.
I'm 100% just going to get you a Lego jigsaw, mate. I'm just going to send it over to
You're an asshole. What about you? Have you asked for anything?
No, mate, like, so Jen's birthday was a couple of days ago, which falls within 4 weeks of Christmas, and she sets up this group every year where she sends gift ideas for Bane. It's just me and her in the group chat. It's a sad group chat, mate, because it's all pictures of things that she wants. And actually, in fairness, between her birthday and Christmas this year, I've been the most organised where I've literally got everything before. Like, as mate, I had everything before December. My last package arrived there on the 1st of December, mate, and it's literally just I've got everything. That was weird. I used to be the guy on Christmas Eve. Mate. I don't even know what I'll do on Christmas Eve now. I've got all this time. Usually, I'm running about. Don't know how I'll get my steps in Christmas Eve now, but and what I want, no, mate, I genuinely have nothing in mind because anything I want is ridiculously expensive. I wouldn't put that on somebody else, and I probably wouldn't get used. I was looking at the PlayStation VR. I'm like, I'm not going to get a chance to. It's like I'd use it for 2 days at
Yeah.
Christmas, probably pissed when I'll not even remember using it. I'll not have time the rest of the year, or it'll be a distraction when I'll use it too much. It'll take away from other things. So I've just asked Jen to get me some clothes because I don't buy myself like I've got tons of gym clothes, but I don't buy myself anything like actual like t-shirts, whatever. There's a
Aye.
yearly shop, mate, where I'll go into Jack and Jones or something and just get like put it all down the counter and go, like, that's what I want, and that's my year's supply. But
Aye. Aye.
I just asked Jen if she can get me some clothes, and then our family does a Secret Santa thing where we all buy. So you just get drawn one person and you buy them stuff
Aye.
because same as yourself, mate. We actually had a discussion going, look, do you remember anything that you've got over the last couple of years? And I could probably pick out like one or two things, and I'm like, outside of that, I don't have a fucking clue what I got or who got me it or have I used it. And
Aye.
just it's nice to get something and give something, but realistically, the amount of debauchery that's there, mate, it's just shite. Like,
Aye. Aye. We're doing the same this year as well with the Secret Santa with Rachel's side of the family, but it's now got to the point now where me and my sister don't get each other anything because we would give each other 50 quid in a card.
just
So
exchanging money, mate.
literally exchanging money. But now like obviously Thomas is here and stuff. She would rather I spent money on him than spend money on her. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, Secret Santa with the Digneys. Me and Rachel are just going to buy ourselves our own stuff because fuck it. Um, takes the thinking out of the game for me as well because I hate buying gifts.
Oh, mate, it's nothing worse than having to, like, especially when somebody goes, oh, it doesn't matter what I get, I don't want it. And I'm like, well, you fucking do. You just have told me. And you know for a fact that I'm going to get you something fucking stupid. Like, so just tell me what it is you want.
Aye, 100%. I've actually had to tell my mum this year, like, please don't buy us anything because she goes overboard. It's her that bought me the 8 fucking Lego sets for last year.
Wow, what was it, ninth, mate? 9 in a row.
Oh,
Go for it.
I said to her, I was like, look, you need to understand that me and Rachel are living in a room. We have no other storage space. We do not have space for 20 Christmas presents that you buy us. Like, my mum, this is like, so I know we're fucking way off track here on this podcast now, but my mum does this thing, right, where if I, like, she'll go into a shop, right, and if she sees something for a tenner that I could use, instead of buying that thing, she'll see buy 5 of these for a tenner of
Ah,
shit that I don't use or I couldn't use. She'll buy me the 5.
now you've got 5 of them.
Now I get 5 of the shit that I don't need
Yeah.
instead of the one thing for a tenner that I would fucking use. So yeah, that's it. It comes from a place of love. You know what my mum's like. She thinks giving is giving is that's her way to show love.
That's
But
right.
it's got to the point now where I was in a house yesterday and she bought me 4 share bars of dark chocolate because I said to her one time, "Oh, I can put dark chocolate in my oats." She has 4 bars of these for me, and I was like, "Mum, I am not taking them home because I'll fucking eat them." And she took them off.
Fair enough. Yeah. What can you do about that? Like,
I know. Honestly, mate, it's a constant battle every day. But I know it's coming from a place of love, so I don't hold it against her.
did you see that thing where I put up on Instagram the other week about when I used to try and look like Ronaldo, look with the hair?
Oh, mate, that took me back.
So my ma used to buy me because Shockwaves gel at the time, mate. She used to genuinely buy me. I think it was 6 Shockwaves gels, and she used to because it was like a fiver each or something at the time. And when I was 15, 16, 17, they weren't cheap, mate. So like she ended up like wrapping them, the three of them together in this thing. But I always knew what I was getting. But I was pure buzzing, mate. It lasted me about a week. But buzzing, mate. Like I'm telling you, I could bust a ball with a bit of gel that was in my head at that time.
Mate, I know, man. I know. I'm pretty sure you nearly took my eye out one time.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're hard of sight now that I've taken your eye.
But aye, that took me back, man. See, when I seen the photo, I was like, holy fuck.
I know, mate. Times, great times. Back in the good old days, wasn't it?
That was back in my fucking my mod days as well with my big hair.
You did, mate. You used to have, and then you dyed a wee part of it red at one point, wasn't it? And
Right.
then, yeah, that was bad. But I think probably before we start going through days of good all going by, we probably should wrap this up. That's a
Absolutely. I completely agree. Thank you if you've made it this far. I do apologise for the waffling in the last kind of 10 to 15 minutes. But yeah, we do appreciate you listening. Thank you very much. Hopefully there is plenty of nuggets in there that you can take and apply to your life and you can navigate December like an absolute fucking pro.
yeah, I was about to say thank you for listening. I hope you have a great Christmas. But we've got another 3 episodes before Christmas, so don't be fucking off anywhere. Come back
Aye.
next.
Do not be fucking off anyway. I promise I'll be back next week. I'm after bevy, so I've no excuses.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week, aye. If you get into that fucking beer advent calendar, we might not see you. So,
Mate, I've been doing well so far. I think we're coming up to. I'm almost at the 90-day mark, so I'm going to keep it strong till the 16th. After the 16th, mate, you're on your own. I'm going to be doing a Gary McDonald where you'll just not see me. I'll be January before I'm back on the pod. But yeah,
that's right. I'll need to get AJ. I'll need to phone AJ.
yeah, phone it, the sub, the super sub, the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer of the team. But right, well, guys, cheers for listening, and we'll speak to you next week.
See you later.